Hello everyone, we are doing a deer today, so I'm just going to start off by priming my face, and then I'm going to go in with a highlighting shade a little bit lighter than my skin tone just to highlight all the parts of my faces. And we are not using foundation, so everything that I'm doing is going to be basically all concealer, cream kind of base, and then we're going to put powders over top. So we're just going to start with the lightest shade and go kind of in the center of our face, down below our eyes, on our eyelids to prime them, my chin, and above my lip and around my nose. As you can see, I also applied it to my lips because the bottom of my lip is not going to have any color, and then around my brows, and then the center of my nose. And then as soon as I'm done doing that, then I just blended it out with the sponge so that there's no harsh lines. And you'll just keep bouncing that sponge. It's wet, and then I'm just going over that pimple one more time just to make sure it's covered. Emmeline wants to say hi. And then I'm just going to take my brow gel. I like to put it on before because it gives my brows a little bit wet so that the powder acts as like more of a gel. It's a little bit more of a like cream kind of base instead of a powder. And then I'm just going to fill and shape my brow. And I did go a little bit bigger than my brows are naturally. I just kind of overdrew them just to have a little bit of a shape to it and a little bit more of an arch. You can feel free to do your brows just how you please. I just personally did it this time just to, I don't know, try something a little bit different for this look. As soon as they were all filled in, I just took a little bit of that lightest concealer and just went around them to highlight the tops of my brows and underneath to clean up a little bit. And then afterwards, we are gonna jump into the contouring part. So I just took a cream, it's actually a concealer, and just took it with the same brush that I used the highlighter just to get the shape of where I wanted the darkest shade. And then I am going to blend it out again with the sponge in just a second as soon as I finish this. And I ended up wanting it just a little bit more intense, so I just went back with a little bit more of it on the sponge and just pounced it on my skin until I liked how it was turning out. I'm now taking a shade that's in between like the lightest and the darkest. This is typically like my normal kind of skin tone, and just going around the edges of that darker and lighter color just to blend them seamlessly. You don't really have to do this, but it's just an easier way to kind of blend everything out. Also, I would recommend taking the darkest shade and kind of going down your neck and onto your chest so that it just doesn't end on your face. This will just kind of help as like a full-on costume type thing. I didn't go all the way down, I just went down my neck part. You can even wear like a turtleneck to even cut like the amount of product you're using. But then I just went in with that lightest shade one more time, and then a light lightening powder over the top of the light areas. And then in just a second, we will be using a fan brush, which is actually something I usually don't use to like contour kind of things, but we're gonna use that to go over the contouring areas, the darker areas, because it just kind of blends it out and is light, airy kind of feel to it. And that's just gonna help blend everything in and set it as well. And then we're just gonna take the lightening powder in just a second and go down the center of our nose to highlight it. And then we're gonna actually create the shape of the nose and the tip of the nose with a black liner. I did 2 little lines on the side to just accentuate that lightening area, to show that it's going like longer in the center instead of it being a wider nose, and then just did the tip. And then I'm just taking a angled brush and kind of creating just shadows on each side of the nose. And as you'll see, I kind of just play with it until I like how the contouring's kind of looking and the shading and everything, and just play with it until you like how it looks. And then next, I'm just taking a liner, which is a liquid liner, just making that line going from my nose to my lip. And I'm using that same liquid liner to do the corner of my mouth to make it look like they're kind of smiling a little bit more. And then I'm going to fill in my top lip with a black cream shadow. I dipped into a black shadow just to set the lips and then set the nose as well so they don't budge or anything. It also helps kind of make it a little bit more opaque. And then I'm taking a white cream shadow, creating little spots, you know, the little deer fawn spots around the eyes, just to add a little bit more detail. I then grabbed my nude liner and decided to put it on the inner waterline, the underwater line, whatever you want to call it. And this just kind of widens your eyes to make them more kind of deer-like. And then I decided to keep the eyes really simple and easy. I just dipped into a chocolate brown and a little bit of black and just put that in the crease and outer corner and then about halfway underneath the eye. Now taking an eyeliner pen, we're just gonna draw a line going from our kind of tear duct a little bit below it, drag it across the waterline, like underneath the waterline, and then do that same thing to the other side. And then we're gonna wing out the liner and connect the top and the bottom. And we're gonna kind of create a new like tear duct that's a little bit bigger and more kind of animal-like. Some black mascara before we apply some false lashes, both to the top and bottom lashes. And then before I applied lashes, I decided that it needed a little bit more of a touch-up too on the nose, and then I just applied the false lashes. These are the Tanya by EVERLASHING. They are gorgeous, perfect for the holiday season. And now that's it. Just touch up wherever you need. I have that pimple that's staying loud and proud, so just covering that up a little bit more and highlighting the center, and then taking a shadow and highlighting the tip of my nose, my top of my cheekbones, and then my cupid's bow, and even my bottom lip. And that's it.